Next ranked leaderboard update on November 6th. Well, the last time I checked, it's November 6th. Where the hell's the update? Guess they thought daylight savings moved us back a whole day. Hey guys, Nightfall here, and today I want to talk about a few things actually. And the first thing I want to address is something that happened or started happening late Tuesday night, but didn't really sink in until yesterday morning. And a lot of people woke up to this news and it affected so many people, and I feel like I just need to take a moment to talk about it. This XDefiant patch. What did you think I was talking about? Patch notes came out late Tuesday evening. Patch released yesterday morning around 10 a.m. Eastern time, and it promised to address one of the more painfully broken issues in the game, footstep audio. Yesterday's video was just me giving you my reaction to seeing the patch notes, and right now after some playtime, I want to give you my feedback. So XDefiant devs, if you're watching, listen up. I don't know what the hell you did or how the fuck you even did it, but the footstep audio sounds way better than I could have ever imagined. This was a much faster turnaround time on this than I thought it could have been. I've been saying footstep audio is a balancing act, and I didn't think you guys would get it right for a long time. Siege hasn't been able to get this shit right for over 9 years. This alone should be an accomplishment. I don't think people quite understand the W that this is. Footstep audio is arguably harder to perfect than Netcode is. My only hope now is that some later update doesn't screw it up entirely. But that's enough glazing for one video. I have one glaring issue that I still want resolved when it comes to footstep audio. Teammate footsteps. They're too loud. I appreciate that I can only hear them at closer distances than enemies, but just make them quieter. I need to be able to determine if it's an enemy or a teammate behind me without looking at the minimap. That's all I ask. But that's really the extent of the patch that we got. The rest of it was just fluff. I mean, the trading update, I didn't really notice anything too different. There were a couple times where I actually felt I should have traded, but didn't, so I guess that means it's fixed. But like I said, the rest of the patch is just other stuff, weird fixes, weird bug fixes. But now I want to dig into a few replies that Mark gave to some players on Twitter after the patch came out. They start innocent enough and then quickly devolve into some what the fuck moments. So let's get an easy one out of the way first. This user Catalyst asks if some of the bigger issues are only a console thing because they don't see them on PC. Example, low player count, lobby disconnect issues, bullet recognition, etc. The low player count I want to address first because I actually stumbled across something in my comments yesterday. A lot of console players seem to have crossplay turned off because they just don't want to deal with the PC bullshit. A couple of them actually told me they'll turn it on, but only if it's going to be console to console crossplay. And before you get your panties in a bunch, I play on PC and I switched over from Xbox. And I'll be the first to tell you that there is a distinct advantage to playing on PC over console. The movement, like air strafing, way easier on PC, yes on a controller, not a mouse and keyboard. 240 FPS over 120 FPS, huge advantage. And if you're typing in the comments right now saying it's not, and then want to give me some BS about the human eye can only see X amount of FPS, stop. I want you to play on 120 FPS and then go play on 240 and tell me you don't feel or see a difference. Because I 110% can, and just to prove it, I did my own experiment. I had someone switch my FPS cap between 120 and 240 and randomly choose between the two 5 different times, and loaded into a game, and within the first 3 encounters, I could guess if it was 120 or 240 FPS, and I was correct 5 out of 5 times. So I brought the data with it, but ultimately I think people are just worried about running into cheaters on PC, but a bunch of people still fail to realize that even with crossplay off and not playing anybody on PC, doing that you're actually probably playing way more cheaters than you even realize. But let's go ahead and discuss some of the other issues in this tweet. So lobby disconnect, can't really speak on that because that really hasn't been an issue for me, but it sounds like internet issues. But the bullet recognition, or as the cool kids call it, hit reg, is definitely a thing I've experienced. So this tweet had me wanting answers, and Mark gave us an answer. He said it's not platform specific, which points to something that he mentioned in the past, which is if your internet is super strong and clean, no packet loss, and consistent ping, then you probably have a great time in our game. Okay, well, let me show you something. Seems like pretty good internet to me, and I get a steady 22 to 28 ping in game, so I shouldn't be having any issues, especially with hit reg, right? So what the fuck is this? Explain this shit to me, please. Well, let's get to the even more questionable tweets like this one. People still complaining about the netcode, and rightfully so, but they aren't taking the bait. Look what Mark had to say on this. He said, netcode has been improved and will continue to be improved. Netcode is an issue that all multiplayer games have. This is not something unique to XDefiant, but as a new IP, we are starting at the beginning rather than having more than 20 years on the same engine. And even with 2 decades of work, there are still netcode issues in their game. Point being, we hear you, and regardless of where other games are with their netcode issues, we have and will continue to improve netcode as best we can. Much respect. Didn't even name drop, but we all know he's talking about Call of Duty here. Come on. We all need to understand netcode won't be fixed overnight. And yes, I know the game's been out for almost 6 months now. I get it. But stuff like this takes time. As you can see from his response, COD is still facing the same issues, and every COD that I've ever known has always had netcode issues in the first 2 to 3 months into the game. Now that's all fine and dandy. So my only question to my way smarter than me viewers that deal in this field, how come 20 years ago, when we had what we now consider archaic technology and internet speeds, did a game like Halo not have hit reg issues in the online multiplayer? I'm talking Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2. Sure, they had a desync here and there, but never consistent issues with it like this game has, or other modern FPS games have. So why does something like netcode feel worse than 20 years ago? Someone please educate me, because I'm just confused as hell on that. So while my geniuses in the comments explain it to me like I'm 5, let me get to the bombshell tweet here. This was a question asked by one of my favorite viewers, and I only say favorite because he got us double XP one weekend, and it was a much needed double XP weekend. But he asked, why did y'all add more weapon XP per level? Nobody wants it like this. Literally undid adding objective XP. Please change it back. Now, the issue with this for me wasn't so much that they changed it, it was that they changed it and didn't tell anyone. And here's what Mark had to say about it. I agree. That change kind of snuck in, but looking to revert it. All right, so let me just check something here. And yep, still showing on his Twitter bio as executive producer of the game. So how the fuck did it just sneak in? He's not saying it was an unintended bug that happened. So someone made the decision and changed it on their own and put it in without your approval? I don't get it. Who the fuck thought they could sneak this in with this patch anyway? What other shit sneaks into these patches that we don't know about? What happened to when you were telling us you were going to be transparent with us and not do things like shadow updates and shadow nerfs to things? Regardless, it's supposed to be reverted back. When? We don't know. But the last thing I want to talk about is people in my comment section recently saying my videos have become too negative. This channel is and has always been my opinions in the moment. I don't constantly hate on the game, and I don't constantly glaze it. For those saying my videos are too negative now, you must not have seen some of the old videos. But I'm never going to lie to you guys. I'm here to give an honest opinion, my thoughts on this game, and if it differs than your opinion and your thoughts on this game, it's okay. We can discuss it in the comments like civil human beings. So what you may think is me being negative, I see it as me being a realist. Sure, I still have hope for this game, but my hope for its survival, if I'm being completely honest, no longer lies with Ubisoft, because they have shown me nothing for me to put my trust in them that they can turn this game around. Maybe that'll change. Who knows? I could be wrong. Like I said, it's an opinion, not a fact. But regardless, I appreciate everyone's feedback and comments always. Just wanted people to understand that I'm never going to lie or sugarcoat anything for the sake of a video, because that's not who I am. Do I like XDefiant? Yes. Does it have its problems? Is it lacking content? Yes and yes. So if you enjoyed the video and the other content that I make, consider subscribing to the channel and let me know in the comments your thoughts on the new patch and these tweets from Mark, and I'll catch you in the next upload.